Good afternoon. My name is Arsema. These are my teammates, Luke and Marcus, and we are Mosaic. Okay. So the refugee crisis isn't new. With countless hundreds of people being forcefully displaced from their homes every day, the current aid situation is just not cutting it. That's where we come in. We provide refugees a means from which to thrive. So currently, the refugee cycle consists of 4 stages. The first, home or pre-migration. The second, the exodus from their town or country. The third, temporary resettlement. And the fourth, permanent resettlement. And we're about to show you how we revolutionize these last 2 and most impactful stages of the refugee cycle. So currently, 1 in 2 Syrian refugees have higher than a high school education. And 86% of Somalian and Sudanese refugees have some sort of formal training. This wasted human potential is a problem, and we are the solution.
As evidenced by the aforementioned statistics, it is clear that refugees exist in a state of limbo that is not at all conducive to socioeconomic advancement or cognitive stimulation. That is why Mosaic has aligned our business model to incorporate a number of resources, including vocational training programs and a microloan exchange platform, all directed towards refugee socioeconomic empowerment.
So the primary facet of Mosaic is the vocational training program. By giving refugees an opportunity to a wide range of income-generating skills, we're allowing them to take the power into their own hands. And the reason we have this in part of our model is due to the fact that 89% of refugees continue on with their learned skill even after resettlement, showing the impact this opportunity has in their lives. This is Rhea, a Rwandan refugee who fled her home country during the genocide. She watched the school that she taught in burn down and then relocated to the Kakuma refugee camp in northern Kenya. There she found herself idle, with no one to teach to and no place to teach. But without funds, there was nothing for her to do. So she applied for a loan, received a loan, and built an iteration of that school at the refugee camp.
A microloan of the kind, such that Rhea received, can enable the cultivation of the entrepreneurial spirit, which we believe is evident in the ambitions of tens of thousands of refugees just like Rhea. Mosaic's microloan platform is crowdsourced, bridging lenders who are genuinely eager to help refugees better their condition with recipients who could stand to benefit the most from access to new capital.
And they're able to access this capital through our e-commerce platform. Here, refugees can sell the items that they've made, like the ones that we've shown here today and that I'm wearing on myself, to anybody around the world, giving them access to a previously inaccessible marketplace. And this all hedges on the idea of mobile banking. This new technology that's been introduced to Kenya is M-Pesa, that functions under the umbrella of Safaricom and Vodafone, 2 of the largest network providers in Africa. Now, refugees are able to send and receive loans and realize their revenue. And having a smartphone or Wi-Fi connectability is no longer a barrier for doing so.
Through vocational training and microloan lending, Mosaic connects the dots between refugees and the skills and capital that they need to realize the prospects of occupational opportunities as well as entrepreneurial ambition.
So let's zoom out and see how Mosaic fits. First, we have our vocational training program. Now, refugees are able to learn an income-generating skill. But without a way to utilize this knowledge, it seems futile. That's why we have our loan exchange platform. Refugees now have access to a funding source in order to materialize that knowledge and a certification for the knowledge that they've gained. But we've now crowded the local marketplace. That's why we need our e-commerce platform. By having refugees able to sell online, they're having access to a global marketplace, therefore diffusing the tension between refugee and host citizen by decreasing the amount of competition and by starting a symbiotic relationship between the host citizen and the entire host country.
So Mosaic's technical and vocational training program includes modules on how to begin a new business with the support of the microloan through our platform. We also hope to advise and guide refugees with services that can provide them with legitimate opportunities, steering them away from the informal economy, while also encouraging them to take advantage of the global market. We aim to provide refugees, which we understand to be a population conditioned by absolute need, by providing them the means by which they can be highly industrious. To be a refugee is to have no certain future, extremely limited opportunities for personal growth, and a nearly complete dependence on foreign aid relief. We hope that with Mosaic, we are able to restore the rights and dignity of tens of thousands of refugees by nurturing their socioeconomic empowerment.
Aside from connecting refugees to external marketplaces, we also help them build a credit history by reporting their loan payments to credit bureaus. Our platform also enables us to connect refugee ventures to refugees in need of jobs. We improve the lives of many by improving the life of one. So there is a lot of synergy between our business model and the refugee population. As you can see, refugees will be able to source raw materials from the host country, in turn stimulating the local economy. We aim to focus on Kenya because there is a very high concentration of refugees in the area, starting off with the Kakuma refugee camp. Our implementation methodology generally entails us honing in on countries that have refugee camps by leveraging our relationship with the UNHCR. This will allow us to get a foot through the door, and then we can later on expand our service to helping those residing within urban slums as well. Mosaic will look a little different everywhere we go. We have an adaptive business model that is meant to ensure unique success across a wide variety of contexts. With regards to the $25,000 in funding, we believe this to be crucial to our endeavors, as it will allow us to validate our market and create a proof of concept. Once we've proven that our model is capable of generating revenue and also growing at the same time while impacting a large number of refugees, we'll be able to leverage this to gain further investment later down the line. This is a brief overview of our 5-year profit and loss projections. As you can see, we realize a positive margin after our 5th year of operation.
Here's how we've put together the pieces of our Mosaic thus far. We're ready to roll out our pilot program in Kenya and deploy our first vocational training curriculum. We're also currently in negotiations with Safaricom and Vodafone to concurrently deploy our loan exchange platform. This summer, we plan to travel to the Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya to gather data and do a reasonable resource feasibility assessment. Aside from being awarded the Hull Prize at Yale, Mosaic has also received the official endorsement of not only the Turkana County government in Kenya, but also that of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees.
With all the talk of rollout plan, logistics, and profit and losses, we cannot forget the faces of the millions of people we're about to impact. As the daughter of a refugee, I understand the value of what we're trying to provide. And after visiting 5 refugee camps, all of us collectively, and speaking to countless of refugees, we have interacted with the people whose lives are about to change. There's a Swahili proverb that says, "From crawling, a child learns to stand," and we, Mosaic, provide the ground underneath their feet. But we'd be remiss not to mention the mentors and advisors that have helped us in the Mosaic journey, game changers in the space of social impact entrepreneurship and the refugee crisis. Who are we? We are the founders of Mosaic, 3 students who are simply unimpressed by the status quo. Thank you.